Last Friday I retired from my job. I've done it 22 years. I've been a working man a lot longer than that since childhood. Okay, I'm gonna share you my ghetto to retirement success story. You know what? I was born 1 month after the Watts riot. Okay, and you know what? My childhood wasn't very pleasant because my father is very abusive, can't hold a job, and he depends on my mom for everything. You see my mom, and as me and my siblings as only source of income. You know what though? That he spent his entire life being a street hustler and fool around with several women. You know, this being Mr. Hood Rich. And you know what though? That he would not allow my mom to work because she'd rather for her to be on welfare. Unfortunate that she's college educated. You know what though? That she won't want to fulfill a dream being a school teacher. And what happened is that my father always found a way to make her lose her job, you know, by harassing phone calls, showing up on her job, and accusing the principal of having sex with his wife. You know what? I do remember one time how violent he is. That we used to live on Hyde Park Place, 4th Avenue, 61st Street. You know what though? You know, I remember a salesman walk up to the door, you know, and you know what happened? He sells encyclopedias, and he called my mom pretty. Then my dad got out and started beating him up, and he chased down the street. So it's a horrible thing. And you know what though? That he's a very violent person, you know, like a raging drug addict that is, and also that he do beat up his women. You know, like he bring mistresses to his house, and I don't know why my mom accepted that. So you know what? I remember one time that he got her mistress pregnant. Like she was only 15. She was a babysitter that my father impregnated, and she was living with us. And don't know why, but more like I don't know. She's a runaway or not. So I don't know. But you know what though? That was my half brother. My dad was beating her up on the front lawn, holding the baby. Then what happened? That my dad slammed her on the ground holding the baby. My mom screamed, "A baby!" You know that's. You know what though? That the whole neighborhood saw it, so very disgusting. You know what though? This like that I remember he going around calling me dumb and stupid, no common sense, and then we moved from LA to Inglewood, and my mom managed to buy a home. You know. Okay, so I don't know how she did it. She did it. Well, she was working around that time, but my same old father always ruined it because what happened and bringing all those bad people there, and then plus he got a drug dealer, his personal drug dealer. You know that I saw him give food stamps to the drug dealer for a payment, and my mom got real upset about it. Upset me too, and also too that in a heat of rage that he destroyed a large fish aquarium that mom bought for his kids. You know, that's really traumatizing. Yeah, because of my father's illegal activities, and that we had to leave because of some people that he dealt with or were threatening to kill us, so we had to move. So when my mom lost the house, and you know, I do remember that my grandmother was home by herself. There were about several police officers surrounding the house. Okay, it was a police standoff, and my grandmother there, but I don't know how that happened. I don't know why, but only thing my mom said that my grandmother called the police. Okay, probably some bad guys came there and done something. I don't know, but like we all moved, you know, and my mom lost the house. I did look at the house at Hyde Park Place, you know, it's worth over $600,000 because of football. The Rams started moving in, and the whole neighborhood got better. You know what though? It's heartbreaking because I hope I get my mom's house back one of these days. You know what? In the 1980s, we moved to Torrance, a predominantly white neighborhood, and My dad still acting ghetto as usual, calling me dummy and call my sister a whore in public right in front of white people, and but you know what? I did have some good friends in Torrance, they got me out of the ghetto for a change, and you know what though, that I did got around diverse people. I went to out of the middle school down the beach, and like I do love the diversity, okay, but at the same time, you gotta deal with a bunch of few race individuals, but we overcame that, and then we moved to another place in Lenox. Somehow, we know what though, my dad bad associations. My house got shot at by the people he got in a fight with, and then the Crip gang showed up, who was a friend of my father, and they had a meeting on what happened. So they all left and went after the person who attacked our home. Then you know what? And after that, we ended up moving to Paris, California, out in the country. You know what though? That I did like the country though. Then I did see but we did raise animals, and sad to say what my dad is. He's a country boy, but like he is smart in raising livestock. But the way he is, he keeps selling on livestock to support a drug habit. You know what though? That's when I saw his drug abuse begin to deteriorate him, because in his 40s. Like in his 40s, okay, that he started to deteriorate. Then I did, join Future Farm America, this study agriculture in high school. Well, like I did have a very fun time in that club, and what happened. Truth is that I really don't know what's going on. That we lost we were evicted. It turned out that they were squatters on that property. Because we started living there after they made a drug bust, and what happened? They paid the rent. They paid the rent for I don't know how long, then it stopped. Well, because my dad's drug habit, as usual, smoke up our rent money and snort it up his nose or shoot up through his arm. Well, we moved to Mead Valley right there. I took a job working in the corner produce in Paris, and me again, the only one working, providing for my family. Very disgusting. Okay, and I do remember my father have his heated rage and tearing up things, and I remember back in Good Hope in Paris area how he shot at me and my brother over a candy bar. We had this candy bar she shot at us. Well, again, I work in corner produce, and I'm gonna do what my dad always embarrassed me. Like he embarrassed me on my job by lashing out on my coworker for not washing her hand, called her B word, and say many horrible things to her. And you know what though? That's very embarrassing at all, and also he's responsible of destroying my relationship between me and my girlfriend around that time. Because let me tell you that, and what happened? We lost a home again. Moved to Lake Elsinore. The same old thing. My father acting up, and then what happened? He burned up my college books because I wasn't giving him money for some money for drugs. And then what happened? That's when it was time for me to go. I joined California Conservation Corps. Learned new skills, have a new adventure working in wildlife. I did enjoy it. Okay, a lot. At the same time, that I had to take care of my family because you know what though? Again, my father's drug habit started deteriorating a lot more. We lost a mobile home that he rented because he didn't pay rent. You know what happened now? They're homeless. They're living in hotels everywhere. Well, I did transfer to San Pedro to be closer to my family because they moved back to LA. So I did, and then to San Pedro CCC. Then what happened? I joined the Forest Service. And you know what though? My dad would not help me. He would not drive me to San Diego, just drop me off on my new job. I ended up taking a Greyhound bus to my brother's home to my brothers where he lived in San Diego. He didn't want to drop me off and join. That's why I took a job with the Cleveland National Forest as a forestry firefighter. You know what, though, Dad? You know what? That was the milestone right there. When I first came to San Diego in '87. San Diego is a beautiful community. The mountains, the beaches, the cities. You know what? The diversity. I love it. I'm gonna tell you, it's a very unique city, and I love it. I ended up I took my first home in San Diego called Descanso, California. Descanso Fire Station, crew engine 41. I was doing good as a firefighter, doing a lot of traveling, you know, and I love my job, serving our country as a firefighter, federal firefighter that is. And then what happened? My family left California to Louisiana, so I'm very happy for them because I'm glad they got California, started a new life. Okay, and then you know what? I felt like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes I'm alone now. Well, my family, you know, just left. Then what happened? They moved to New Orleans, Louisiana, and somehow my father screwed things up again. Then they ended up coming back to California. Maybe because New Orleans, the crack cocaine hadn't arrived in New Orleans yet, so he drove back to Los Angeles. First Paris, living in, shacking up with a bunch of druggies. Okay. Then in LA, shacking a bunch of druggies. When I went to visit my family again, all of a sudden I saw my mom. She lost a lot of weight. She's real skinny. I wonder what's happening to her because it's a concern. I remember a while back that she diagnosed with breast cancer in the late 70s. Because I was concerned about it, but she would not talk about what happened. So I saw she losing weight rapidly. Like I went back to Descanso after I visited my family. And then what happened later on? That I loaned my father. I gave my dad some money to help the family out. Then I found out that that him and his mistress smoked it all up on crack cocaine. That was the beginning of the crack pandemic around 1987. It angered me so bad that I did not help my family again. Okay. Because I tried to motivate my father to do something right, so that's why I didn't do it. Then what happened back in November? That I was in October and November, I was on the Palomar fire. And then what happened was that as soon as I got home from the fire assignment, I had a phone call from my sister that they tried to reach me for a while. She said that. Mom is in a hospital, that my sister had to take my mom on a city bus to Harbor General Hospital because she lost movement of both of her arms. And my dad was my sick father would not take her to the hospital. That's when I found out that the cancer spread to her brain. And this time it was inoperable. She's dying. You know what though? My father as well, he still did not care because that crack cocaine messed his mind up. Well, she died a few months later. Okay, of cancer, and then plus my siblings are taking care about my brother and his wife. I did false fires for another year later in '88, and then I went on to something else because of my death of my mom. I couldn't focus what I'm doing, especially day occupation. So I spend years working a grocery store. Okay, in the workout in well because racism. And I took a job with transit. I've done that job strongly for 22 years. In between, I became a father. Okay, and my son is 21 years old and I got autism, so you know, he's one of my best success stories right now. And now I retired as a bus driver. Okay, you know what though? You know what? Talk about growing up in the ghetto. You know what I mean? Because That's why I hate the ghetto so much, because my father, and plus all the drug dealers and troublemakers I dealt with. There's one particular drug dealer in Paris, okay? His name is David Lewis, okay? That he's my father drug dealer. Who bullies me and all that, and he bullies a lot of people. He bullies people with special needs. He called me retarded. You know what? A lot of people in the community hate him as well because he's nothing but a bully. I remember in '86 when I would visit my family. I saw his name in the newspaper in Press Enterprise. I laugh. He got arrested for killing a rival drug dealer. He's doing life in prison up near Lone Pine, California, up in the Sierras. You know, so you know the irony in the story is that I was fighting fires in that area, like where he's incarcerated. I found out a month ago from one of my friends that where he's at. To me, that's very. I'm gonna tell you that's my big one of those ghetto clowns right there. You know what though? If you look him up on Google, David Lamont Lewis, Paris, California. Okay, he's on there. He was on talk about the trial. To talk about trials, he was on trial. It took him about a few years to convict him. Excuse me. I'm gonna tell you about this. I'm gonna tell you. I dealt with those ghetto people for a long time, even the grocery stores. You know that they're lazy, they're violent. Okay. He had babies, and the men do nothing but going in and out of jail. Like, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. There are some ghetto people among us in the neighborhood. Most of them are moving out now. You know what though? That my former neighbor and like her son is a drug dealer, driving a brand new car. He's there. He only lived with his mama when his girlfriend kicked him out. And that's one thing. You know what though? You wanna know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? How his mom hated the police after death of Malcolm Brown. All suddenly, her son was beating up his girlfriend, actually his ex-girlfriend, with a kid trying to see the grandmother. His mother was screaming, call the police. And also, too, that guy across the street who lived with his mom, he also had a girlfriend who was born and raised in the burbs. You know what, though? She was pretty one time. Her drug tore up, and she got, you know what, her boyfriend body slammed her against the car during an argument during a power outage in San Diego, you know. And then you know what happened next? Her boyfriend kicked her out. She's now homeless. But her ex-boyfriend continued living in the garage, mother's garage, with his new girlfriend who looked like she's 15, had another baby. You know what though? They don't live there anymore. Our neighborhood got peace more quieter now. You know what though? The drugs on my street, I've seeing them homeless in downtown. But what happened? The landlord got rid of them. Like one of them still in the neighborhood. He lived in a canyon near 7-Eleven, and a liquor store. He'd be begging for money, he'd be buying drinks, and live out in the canyon. What happened is that he lived with mommy, and I guess mommy don't want him around anymore. I'm gonna tell you one thing though, the ghetto it's not good for our society, because look what's going on right now in the riots, okay? All right, you know what though? Me, I didn't want that life. So I enjoy my retirement. I'm gonna buy a nice house. I'm gonna buy a nice house real soon for my family to live in. I'm gonna tell you what there. I wasn't living in public housing projects. Now I'm gonna live in a house with my own money. That means I'm gonna tell you young people, you want to succeed in life, okay? Don't be in a gang. Don't deal drugs. I'm gonna tell you, there's no such thing as easy money, okay? It's not. Get a blue collar job, okay? Go to trade school, go to college, you do well, okay? Go to trade school for a blue collar job, go to college for a white collar job. Yeah. If you plan on going to university or a college university, that is, I'm gonna tell you, study a major that will benefit you, okay? That'll help make a living. Like, do not get a degree in cultural studies or philosophy or other things because I'm telling you, because those jobs are hard to find as it is. So study something that's worthwhile. Okay, like my niece. Okay, she got a degree in business. I'm sorry, she got a degree in engineering. She's doing well. She's married a fine man, about to have a child. Also, my baby brother. He had a degree in business. He's a school teacher and a football coach. And my sister, she has a college degree. You know, I don't remember what it was, but you know what though? She's a poet now, so she's real good at it. So me and my siblings didn't make it. All my siblings did. Also, the siblings from my dad's first marriage, and also this is Doctor Affairs. We're all doing well because like the long lost brother, I found that he's a trucker. I'm proud of all of them. Take care, everybody.